So in this video we're going to talk about how we're going to move the car away from the left hand side of the road safely. So we're parked up on the left and we want to move the car off. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to think about what routine we're going to use. That routine is POM, stands for prepare, observe and move. Okay, so if you think about it, it is logical. You want to prepare the car first, then you want to do the observations to make sure it's safe, and then we're going to move the car off. We want to do the observation before the car's ready, because then there's going to be a gap and then things change. So we need to stick to that order. So to prepare the car, it's really simple. We're going to simply push the clutch down, pop the car into first gear, and then we're going to give the car some revs. So we're going to give it a bit of gas. In this car, it could be anywhere between 1,500 and 2,000 revs. So you'd have to get used to your car, but typically that's about right. Okay, at that point we're going to keep our feet still, so everything stays still. We're then going to start our observations. Now we need to be able to do our effective observations, so we're going to look around the car. Now some instructors don't do the 5-point check, some instructors do. It's what the DVSA want, it's what the driving examiners want, so that's what we're going to give them. So to do that effectively, we have to look all the way around the car to cover off our blind spots. I call it a 360 check. So we're going to start over our left shoulder. So we're going to look over my left shoulder, looking through the rear passenger window. We're then going to look in the left door mirror, interior door mirror. As you sweep round, you're going to look in front of you and see what's happening in front of you. And then you're going to look in the right door mirror, and then finally over the right shoulder, checking that right blind spot. Once we've done that and we've had a good look around the car, we can then make an informed choice about whether we're going to move off. So in this case we could. So then I'm going to indicate to the right, and then I'm going to start to think about moving the car. So to do that, we're literally just going to come up on the clutch slightly until we get to what we call the bite point. That's the time when the transmission it starts to go from the engine to the wheel. So we're starting to move the car. So you'll feel the car want to go. At that point the handbrake gets released. In my car it gets automatically released, and then the car will start to move. Once the car starts to do that, we're going to keep our left foot still and let the car pick up speed. Whilst we're doing that, we need to turn 10 past the hour, just so the car comes away from the curb. And once we get it into where we roughly want it, in the middle of our lane, we're then going to have to counter steer. So we're going to have to turn to the left slightly, and then we're going to straighten the wheel. If we turn to the right and then straighten the wheel, the problem with that is the car will carry on going to the right, and we don't want that. We want the car straight down the road. So we need to counter steer and straighten up. So we get the car straight, and the car keeps picking up speed, and it keeps increasing. Once this car gets to 5 miles an hour, it's got enough speed under it that we can then start thinking about coming off the clutch. We're not going to come straight off the clutch and slam our foot off the clutch and snatch it. We're going to come off nice and gradually, nice and gently, coming completely off, and then once we're off we can make our way down the road and we can give it more gas if we want. And that is how we're going to move the car each and every time. On your driving test you will get to do that 3 times. If they ask you to do it a 4th time, something is wrong. You need to go back over and check that process. More often than not, it's checking your blind spots and going all the way around the car. Sometimes what people do is they check the blind spots and then select gear, and they look down and select gear. That's not what the examiner wants. The examiner wants the car prepared, then the observations, and then once you check that right shoulder, as soon as you look forward, the car should start to move. And that's what the examiner's after, because that gives us a nice, safe pulling away from the left. Okay, so we've talked about how we can start the car and move it away from the left, so let's put it into practice. Okay, so for me, glasses on because I need glasses to drive, and then we're going to get the car prepared. So clutch goes down, car goes into first gear, and then I'm going to start giving it some gas. So we give it a little bit of gas. At that point my feet stay still, and now I'm going to start looking around the car. So I'm going to look over my left shoulder, interior, right into mirror, right door mirror, right shoulder. Happy with that. Start to indicate my foot is now coming off the clutch, handbrake comes off, and I steer 10 past the hour, and we roll her out, turn her, correct it, straighten her up, and now I come off the clutch. And that's how we move the car off down the road.